So someone asked this question, and that's why it came to bring me to do this Facebook Live today. They asked basically that they had just weaned their baby, who's actually 18 months, so it's more of a toddler. And it happened 4 months ago. And this mom was saying, I feel really sad when I see other moms like breastfeeding. I miss it. I miss that connection with my baby. I feel sad about it. And, is this something that's going to pass? Is it normal? And yes, it is. It's completely normal for you to feel kind of sad once you have weaned your baby for a number of different reasons. I think the number one reason is that you kind of let go of your child a little bit, because when you're breastfeeding, when you're nursing, you have that really close connection to your child, and it kind of puts you in a little cocoon. And it's kind of like that second phase from baby being in the womb and and everything kind of being secure, and your baby's inside you, and you kind of have control of everything. And then once you're breastfeeding and nursing your baby, you have that same type of feeling, and you have that same type of connection with your baby. And also, one of the things that I've experienced breastfeeding my 2 boys, I feel that while I'm breastfeeding them, they're so close to me and so attached to me, and I'm like their whole world. And once you stop nursing or you start to wean, they all of a sudden start to be much more attentive and want to explore other people and meet other people and be open to other people. So it kind of you lose that kind of role where you're they're everything, to not being okay, mom, that's cool, you're awesome, but hey, look at this girl, or look at this guy, oh hey, look at my dad, where's dad been all this time? And it kind of turns into that, which is kind of I've seen it with my kids. My Samuel was so close to me, and once we stopped breastfeeding, all of a sudden his dad was hero. He's whoa, where's this guy been all this time? And it was awesome to see his relationship with his dad start to evolve and become this amazing connection and this really strong bond, which he had originally had 100% of the time pretty much with me. So it's that's one of the things that we're kind of sad about. I know it sounds kind of selfish, but it is. It's sad that, you're this little person's world, and now you're not. Now there's lots of other things that are distracting them and they're focused on. So that's one of the things I think that kind of makes us sad. Also, naturally in your body, there's something gone too. Remember that when you're nursing your baby, when you're breastfeeding, you have this boost and this release of oxytocin and all these feel-good hormones. So you're not having that so much now, and it kind of crashes that kind of this balances your hormones a little bit. So there's stuff going on there, just like you do when you've had a baby and you're postpartum. There's changes going on in your body. The same after you stop breastfeeding, there's changes going on in your body. Your body's adjusting to pre-pregnancy and pre-breastfeeding and pre-everything else. So that kind of takes a toll on your body. And then obviously that connection with your baby. So I think one of the things to do is before you stop breastfeeding, try to do a gentle wean, so it's gentle on your baby and so it's gentle on you. And I'm gonna do some other videos about that later on this week, because I'm going through that process, so I want to share some of that with you. And the other thing is, make sure that you spend plenty of time with your baby or your toddler too, okay? Make sure that you're having connection with them. So make sure that you're spend that time with them, maybe in a different way, because you're not so much breastfeeding and you don't have that really strong connection that breastfeeding gives. But maybe something not so much, I wouldn't say so much watching TV or something like that. I would say something where you interact closely together. So you sit down and you're reading a book together, or you're at the park, or you're playing tickles or peekaboo, or hide and seek, stuff where the baby is laughing and they're enjoying it, because that's gonna release oxytocin too, that feel-good hormone that you've been missing out on. So those are kind of my recommendations, and usually it takes a little bit of time, and obviously it's normal. When you go out and you see other moms nursing, you're oh my God, I was just doing that a few months ago. I go through that, when I see pregnant moms, I'm oh my God, I want to have a baby inside me again, I want to have a baby again. And you get, or you see tiny little babies, you're oh, I miss when my babies were tiny little, itty bitty babies. So that's very, very normal, and it will pass. Eventually you will pass, because you'll see them grow, you'll see them thrive, and then you'll have other things that they're going through, other things that they're evolving through to keep you focused on. So it just takes a little bit of time while your body starts to adjust and get back to how it was before. But in the meantime, like I said, just spend lots of time with your baby or your toddler, interaction, hugs, and make sure human touch, when we touch our babies, when we kiss them, that in itself releases oxytocin. So make sure you're cuddling with your little ones, make sure you're kissing them, make sure you're hugging them, you're picking them up, you tell them how much you love them, and all those things are awesome to ease that transition from being breastfed or nursing to once they start being without that. So, and like I said, one thing that I want to recap, there's no right or wrong time to do it, okay guys? A lot of the times we hear people say, oh, they've turned 1, or they've turned 18 months, or they've turned 2, whatever. Breastfeeding and nursing is a connection that you have with your baby. It's a relationship that you have with your baby. It's unique to you and your baby. So both of you should be the ones to decide when it ends, okay? And how to end it. What I'm just saying is that you try and do a transition that is smooth, because it's such an emotional thing that you don't want to just cut it overnight. It's not like you're quitting smoking or something like that. It's something that you want to transition slowly, so that your toddler doesn't what's the word I'm looking for? Like go back, like rewind and start to go through all this emotional trouble. So you want your baby to be ready for it, to be comfortable, to be like, okay, I'm good. I don't want to nurse anymore. I'm good. I'm confident like this. I'm getting mom's emotional support somewhere else. So it's that you want to watch out for, and that you want to take time to think about and kind of plan out how you're going to do that process. Okay, mommies? Bye. Hope you have an awesome day. And if you are going through that, share your experience with us. Let us know, that you're a little bit sad, or what's been going on in your breastfeeding journey that's changed, so we can give you the support, and so you don't feel like, oh my God, is this normal that I miss breastfeeding? I mean, God, most people say like, oh, breastfeeding is so hard. How can you even do it? And I'm here like missing it. Like, what's wrong with me? It's completely normal. Okay, mommy, I've been there. A bunch of other mommies have been there. So what you're going through is completely normal. So share your experience so that we can, normalize all these feelings that we had, that it's okay to go through this, that it's not anything weird or anything like that. Bye, mommies.